Hi guys, it's a Thursday evening here on May 29th and we're at Traffic Jam Galleries. We're here for the opening night of Carole Foster and Rebecca Pearce with their new exhibition and body of works. They're called Soft Edges and Hard Centres. So we've got both of them here and I'm going to sneak in a few questions before we send them into the crowds. So Rebecca, firstly, when we had a look at the collection of work, we were curious, what warranted a change or a departure from your predominantly landscape or floral-based works?
Wow, that's a long one.
Yeah.
I think basically, even though they don't look like landscapes, the landscape is still there. For me, the face is a landscape.
Yeah,
so,
you read that within your artist statement as well, it sort of goes on that a little bit more.
And sometimes we can read a landscape, and sometimes we can read a face. And there's that same thing, all very layered, just like the land is. And sometimes we have veneers and other times not. So I've really focused it on the texture again and lots of colour, contrasting mediums. And to have that in there again is like amplifying all those different layers that are within people as within the landscape. So it really is, it's a follow-on, even though it's in a human head shape.
Yeah,
there's a connection.
Yeah. So are the mediums simply representative of the general material differences that help to convey the meaning of the work?
Sometimes it's very direct and obvious. There's one there, 16 at the Bloody Angle.
Yes.
And because it is a soldier and it's part of Gallipoli and working with that there's the bandages that I've dyed with inks and things like that. Yeah. They're attached. So they're obvious references. And then others are hopefully more subtle. But, and then again with the 16 at the Bloody Angle, I cut up pieces of leather for the lapels, and I researched, the different tagging and things like that. And I guess I wanted probably more authenticity coming through with that one there.
Well, I've always been a landscape painter all my life, and I do branch out and do other things, and birds are one of those things. I've done many things. I'm also an abstract painter too.
Yeah.
So I kind of like a change occasionally, and I'm very close to the birds because they're part of nature and you live with the birds and they're near and dear to me. So I think when you spend a lot of time in a place or anywhere on the earth, and you know the land, you know how it feels, you know its reaction, you know where things are, you feel it in a sense, and I can make them up even because I've been there so much and I just live with it, I feel it. I mean, as a child I was a great adventurer, and when I grew up I went adventuring everywhere, all over the world.
Even in the last few days you've been halfway across Australia.
I think you're always on a journey and you always develop, you never stop, you're growing and you still learn something from somebody somewhere. Even from my students I learn a little tidbit every now and then,
Yeah.
And it just continually grows. You never finish the journey, and you get perhaps less complex as you get older, more complex. It depends on the work. I mean, my works evolve more, and I change how I feel about them. My mood changes, and they just become, more spontaneous as I get older, I think.
You can see that in the palettes that you use as well. I think the palettes are a beautiful reflection of sort of their emotive in the colours that you've chosen for each state, which is beautiful.
Yeah, well, I mean, I use fairly bright colours. I don't always. I do use, lighter tones and darker tones and bright tones and all sorts of things. But I choose it according to the place that I'm painting and the mood that it has and I want to give it.
Those different mediums and the contrasting colours and textures, it's really just to put forward that there is all of that movement, that frenetic pace all the time. And that we really never stop, and that's where it'll come back to the cycle in nature. There is never a stop point, it's just ongoing.